Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is part 4 of What If Naruto was in the Bleach universe. If you guys enjoy this What If, and want to see part 5 of it, comment down below, and let me know. I have created a playlist for this What If, where you can find all the previous parts, link is in the description. And also go ahead and check out other What Ifs in the channel. And check the description, for the creator of this great fanfic, and support them for making this fanfic. Before we start, please do support for more awesome content, it really means a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So let's start this video. Hiyori looked at him in pure shock. The power flowing off of him was just as strong as their own. It felt almost the same, except for a little something else that she couldn't place her finger on. Are you a visor too? You said you weren't a Shinigami. I never lied to you. This thing inside of me isn't a hollow. It's not just spiritual, it's also something physical. Everyone can see and sense this, not just those that are spiritually aware, everyone. I am not a Shinigami. Naruto answered honestly with a serene smile on his face that still confused everyone. I hold something inside of me known as a biju, a living corporeal mass of chakra, which is the combination of spiritual and physical energy. I haven't had to do this in a very long time. I didn't think I would ever find anyone else like me ever again. Hiyori let her mask fade. She no longer desired a fight with Naruto, instead having too many questions to warrant a battle right now. What do you mean like you? How are any of us like you? Naruto let his own enhanced power fade, because I didn't ask for this power to be put into me either, but I fought for control of it just like you all had to, for the sake of myself and the people around me, because I know a hollow would never just freely give you control and cooperate peacefully. Same with me and mine. What are you? Shinji asked from the sidelines. Naruto looked over at the other visors and grinned at them. I am just your average everyday mortal Jinchuriki sage shinobi. You can call me whatever you want, nothing too out of the ordinary. I travel around, doing this and that here and there, and I. Uzumaki-sama. Lisa came from out of nowhere, and grabbed a hold of Naruto in a tight hug, catching him off guard and surprising the hell out of the others, who had never seen her act this way. I am your biggest fan. I have read every story you have ever written. All 45 volumes of the Icha Icha series. Naruto grinned, as he felt Lisa press his face into her bosom. I write books, Dadabayo. He tried looking up at Lisa, but found it rather hard to do as she was smothering him. Well, this is a refreshing change of pace. I mean, before this, you were trying to kill me with your sword, now you are trying to kill me in a far more pleasant way. Lisa let go of him. I just saw your manuscript for the next series, but I couldn't read it. It's in some language I can't understand. Naruto chuckled. I do that, because it's the language I used as a child. It kind of fell out of practice as the years wore on, so no one is around that can really translate it. He actually started paying attention and saw that Love, Shinji, and Rose had surrounded him with starstruck looks on their faces. Yes. Shinji pointed at him. You're Uzumaki Naruto, the Uzumaki Naruto. Your books never had your picture. No one did. Naruto looked at Shinji proudly. I published the books myself. My sensei wrote the first volume that had the first 3 books. I just kept re-releasing them over and over again throughout history. Before I started writing my own follow-up volumes like 150 years ago. People kept on thinking that it was just a passed-down pen name for anonymity. But no, I am immortal. He laughed maniacally before calming himself. Can we have your autograph? Love and Rose yelled at him, brandishing books for him to sign. Naruto nodded and immediately made a Kage Bunshin that signed in his place. Lisa sidled up to his side, looking away from him in an indifferent manner, that was spoiled by the blush on her cheeks. So how exactly do you get the inspiration for these books? Naruto rubbed the back of his head, because I have been alive for a long time. And in that long time I have seen, and done many things that I have chronicled in some way in book form. All the stuff that happens in those books is stuff that is loosely based on things that I have done. Every separate volume of adventure arcs is a separate adventure of mine. Shinji got in his face excitedly. So the stories about the wandering warrior traversing the desert kingdoms. Naruto nodded. Yep, me. Love did the same, and the ones about the man traveling the American plains in the expansion era, mingling with pioneer and Indian alike. At times, Naruto admitted, except the pioneer men were really kind of assholes, but Indians are totally cool. Rose rounded them out with his own question. What about the series in Renaissance Italy and Germany? Naruto pointed a thumb at himself. You. He then shivered slightly. Bubonic plague was gross, good thing I am so healthy and clean. And? Lisa added questioningly. You did everything in those books. Naruto looked at her, and gave her entire figure a once over. Would you like to find out? It has been a long time, but there are some things you never forget how to do. Instead of an answer, he took a shot to the face from a sandal that sent him flying. Getting up to his feet angrily, he glared at Hiyori. Stop hitting me with that damn thing. Stop being a pervert. Hiyori yelled back, brandishing the offending footwear threateningly in his direction. Naruto shook his fist at her. Not being a pervert is boring. Maybe you should try it. You might not be so high-strung if you actually got some every now and then. A sandal flew across the area and struck him in the face, sliding off and leaving footprints. How does that keep hitting me? It's not even moving that fast. Now that everything had calmed down, and all of the Vizard had gotten their arbitrary aggression out of their systems, it was question time. They all made their way back to the warehouse area of the hideout and sat around. Naruto was finally able to change his clothes, which were next to destroyed, and get some food of the ramen variety in him. When Shinji started with the questions, so why did Urahara send you here? To get your ass kicked. Naruto stopped eating, and lightly glared at him. I didn't get my ass kicked. I think I did awesome, considering you all came at me back to back one after the other. But Urahara sent me here, so that I could learn how to fight a Shinigami. Why would you want to go do something like that? The easygoing blonde man asked his spiky-haired new acquaintance. You are not even a spirit, you are a human. A strong human, but still a human. Why would you go to the Serite for anything? Naruto sighed. A friend wants me to. And if I don't go, then who knows what will happen? Some other kids, that have never dealt with anything like this before, are going to rescue a friend that's going to be executed for no good reason. Lisa spoke up, poking her head out of one of her novels to interject. Been there, done that. Anyway, Naruto continued, I am also really curious. I mean, it's gotten to the point that nothing on earth can put me down anymore, so Kami, in his or her infinite wisdom and desire to see me struggle, has decided to introduce me to the spiritual side. I don't know what to think yet. This entire situation is less than a week old for me. You scared? Shinji asked him, grinning teasingly. Naruto frowned. Nope. It's just progression at this point. What more is there for me to experience in life at this point? I will tell you, death. You can't run away from it, no matter how much bonus time you are given. Apparently this is my time for a little run-in with it. Mashiro sat between the two at the table between them, looking between them as they spoke. Wow, you are a cool guy, Fishcake. I like you. Shinji sighed. You like him, because he is the first new person we have met in around 100 years. He let us kick his ass. He doesn't care that we have hollow sides, and he doesn't think you are annoying. He let a grin find its way back onto his face. I think I like him too. Me too. Love, Rose, and Lisa all chimed in, holding up autographed copies of Naruto's books. Kensei growled at the rest of them. How can you just accept a guy like that? He may have that strange power inside of him, but it doesn't feel anything like ours. It feels like our opposite, full of life. Naruto looked over at Kensei and stopped chewing his food. Well, that's because I used the Yang cloak of my Jinchuriki form when I used it. It's easier to make the Yang cloak than the other one that I have, and when I make the Yin cloak, the cloak made out of spiritual power, it burns through my chakra faster than the other. That's more akin to pure ki, which is Yang chakra. I find more of a use with the Yang than the Yin too. You can't hold your form forever either. Kensei said, more to himself than to Naruto. Just like us, are you sure you are not really our predecessor or something? Because the things that you are saying about this power in you seem more and more familiar. He shook his head when he saw Naruto staring at him blankly, with noodles hanging from his mouth. Never mind. Naruto shrugged and finished off his noodles, before beginning to slurp down the broth, while Hiyori kept pacing around the warehouse muttering, well, I still don't like him. I don't trust him. What if he is been sent here to destroy us off of orders? He could just be trying to befriend us to learn about us, before he takes us out. Naruto finished his food with a small burp and looked at Hiyori. No one gives me any kind of orders. I do what I want. I wouldn't do it anyway. I would rather fail my mission and deal with the consequences than kill you, even if it was a mission. It's not. I just came here because of someone else, and I am not disappointed. He grinned at Hiyori mischievously. I told you already. I like you guys. Hiyori looked at him in shock, before turning away muttering something about blonde dumbasses. Naruto could have used that to pick on her, but decided to let it slide for now. Shinji crossed his legs as he sat in his chair. So you seem plenty good enough in a fight to all of us. What are you going to do for 7 more days? I don't know. Naruto admitted, scratching his head. Urahara never said whether or not I could show up early, so I guess I will stick around here if you would let me. He looked around at all of the Vizards, and placed his hands together in a pleading fashion. Please. I promise that you won't even notice I am here. I won't take up much space at all. I am super clean, and I will be your best friend. Why would you want to stay here? Rose asked him, utterly surprised by someone that was more or less normal for lack of a better term, and should have had a normal life. Naruto's answer was plain and simple, because you guys are awesome. I really don't want to have to find another hotel to stay at. I would actually like to hang out for a while. I am sick of being lonely, you know. He suspected that they did indeed know. Just because they seemed to rather keep to themselves more often than not didn't mean that they didn't feel the same way. I can pay you guys. I am rich after all, and I can hang out with each and every one of you. Naruto formed 7 Kage Bunshin at the same time. The Vizards all looked at him appraisingly, as if trying to gauge his sincerity, but couldn't see any deceit behind the big goofy grin he was giving them. After a while of them staring at him, His grin dropped, and he dispelled his clones. Fine, you cheap bastards. I will buy all of the food and goodies that everyone wants for the entire stay. Shinji appeared behind Naruto, and patted him on his shoulder good-naturedly. Welcome to the family, Naruto. Yeah, whatever, Naruto grumbled, but with no anger in his voice, as he still had a smile on his face. So what do you guys do for fun around here? Read. Lisa said, backed up by Love and Rose, who were holding up issues of manga magazines and books. Train. Kensei said firmly, crossing his arms, as if to dare Naruto to say something negative. Oh, I don't know. Hachi said somewhat sheepishly. Mess with Kensei. Mashiro said loudly, getting a growl of annoyance from the man in question. Pick on Snaggletooth, dumbass. Both Shinji and Hiyori said respectively, before Hiyori realized what he called her, and jumped at him, leading to another fight between them. Naruto let out a sweat drop as he watched the others go about their usual business, which to him looked like a whole lot of nothing. Okay, this is pretty bad. I am going to find all of you something useful to do with your time as far as hobbies go. Is all that you guys do train and, well, this? Yes. Upon hearing the unanimous response, his sweat drop grew more pronounced. Come on, I have been alive for thousands of years, and I came up with tons of stuff to occupy my time besides that. Pranking world leaders and monarchs, making fortunes and blowing them on useless stuff. You guys have got to have something. Mashiro raised her hand, as if she were in class. Does getting drunk count? Naruto let out a sigh, and ran his palm down his face, before giving off a defeated look. Yes. Getting drunk counts. Let's get drunk. Let's get drunk, and we can talk about all of the awesome things we have done. Then we can go back into the training room and fight some more. That should kill some time. Unanimous chant of agreement soon followed. Urahara's shop, day of departure. Inside of Urahara's shop sat a training facility, much like the one that the Vizards possessed in their own warehouse. In addition to Ryu and Ichigo, the others down there happened to be a rather silent, large, dark-skinned teen with curly brown hair covering one eye, a sleeveless gray shirt with a red stripe, and olive pants. There was also a rather bright teen girl with orange hair, bangs tucked back with a pair of hairpins. She also wore a pink short-sleeved shirt and gray pants. Getting everyone's attention, Urahara pointed over to himself. Okay, everyone pay attention please, it's about time to go. A series of stones formed behind him into a square door. This is the gate to the Soul Society. Now please listen up, I will now teach you the way to go through this door without dying. But first, he slammed the bottom of his cane into Ichigo's body, separating his soul from his body. That's better. The others were all picking with his body, marveling at how he was separated. Why are you guys messing with my body? Focus, he yelled in annoyance. Who said they could just poke at him freely like that? Khan appeared in teddy bear lion form over Ichigo's shoulder. Right. Because that body is going to be mine for the time being. You guys shouldn't touch it, everyone except Orihime-san, she can touch it, he said, pointing at the girl. Khan, why are you here? Ichigo asked the plush toy, as the others started to freak out at the sight of a talking toy. Why? Khan said indignantly, I am going with you, of course. Do you really think you are leaving me behind? I will brave the difficulties of the Soul Society and... He was cut off by Chad, the large one, grabbing him and looking at him intently, forcing him to scream out in fear. Hey! Urahara shouted and waved, trying to get everyone's attention. You can look back over here now. I am trying to explain how the door works here. He settled down, and got back into explanation mode. As you know, the Soul Society is the world of the souls. So in order to be there you actually have to be a soul. However, the only one that really has the freedom to move around is Ichigo, due to him being a Shinigami. Even if the rest of you have your souls separated from your bodies, you would still be bound by your chain of fate. That is why a spirit exchanger, that will change the makeup of physical things in the living world into Rishi, the main component of souls. Ryu understood what was being said, so all we have to do is go through this door, and everything on that front will handle itself. Correct? Urahara replied, you can all go to the Soul Society as you currently are. Ichigo started marching towards the door. Alright then, let's go. Urahara cut him off by slamming his cane into his side. Not done yet. He chirped cheerfully, as Ichigo held his side in pain. The process won't bring pain, and you will be able to go to the Soul Society. The real problem is time. The amount of time you will all be given to get through to the Soul Society is 4 minutes. Once time is up, the door will close, and you guys will forever be locked in the space between the living world and the Soul Society, the Dongai. He continued, if you are caught by something called the Kaoryu, even a single foot, the chance of leaving in time becomes impossible. Orihime looked rather disheartened by the rundown of their odds of even just making it there. So what should we do? Keep moving forward. The others looked at Yoruichi entering the room with a serious look, as serious a look as a cat can have. I thought I told you, your heart and soul are connected. What is important is how your heart thinks. Only those that can do so will be allowed to follow me. What are you talking about? Ichigo said belligerently. Everyone here today made the decision to go, and are determined to go through with it. You should know, kid, Yoruichi said offhandedly. If you lose in there you won't be coming back. I guess we won't be losing then. Ichigo replied determinedly. Well said. Yoruichi said proudly before a tick mark formed on the head of the cat indicating annoyance. Sorry I am late everyone, I had to go retrieve someone who decided to sleep in. Sorry I am late everyone, I woke up with a black cat standing over me, and decided that was bad luck. So I took a walk around Karakura town, to let my luck settle. A rather haggard sounding voice said, as footsteps signified the person descending down to their level, and don't blame me for that Yoruichi. On the last day we just drank all day long and fought. Ichigo and Yuryu could have sworn that they had heard the voice before. Yoruichi scoffed and continued to walk over to the others, leading the person to enter the room alone. So then why did I find you naked this morning? The other's face faltered at that little kernel of information they didn't need to hear. Finally making an appearance was Naruto, dressed in a dark green combat vest, a set of rather loose black pants, and a pair of distinct sandals that fit firmly and secured his foot and around his ankle for good support. To top the outfit off he wore an orange bandana around his neck, with the rusted metal leaf insignia sewn into it, and a red overcoat with black flames lining the bottom. Naruto's eyes were rather bloodshot and red. Why did I find you naked this morning? He fired back at the cat in a seemingly nonsensical fashion. I didn't do anything to anyone there last night, did I? Yoruichi grinned at him, trying to repress some shameful memories. Naruto waved that sentiment off. Nope, none whatsoever. I would just like to remember what I did. It might make a cool scene to write about. I am expecting tons of stuff to write about on this little mission of ours. Ichigo pointed at Naruto. You are that Naruto guy we met a while back. What are you doing here? Wasn't he in our class for one day? Chad remarked as he had been there the day Naruto had been thrown in. Don't remind me. Naruto said bitterly. I will be damned if I am ever going back to school. I am an award-winning author that has sold countless books. Who needs school at that point? Don't change the subject. Ichigo snapped impatiently. What are you doing here? Do you even know Rukia or something? Naruto shook his head. Honestly no. And I have no reason to be doing this personally, other than the fact that Yoruichi asked me to, and the fact that just because Rukia isn't a part of my plane of existence, doesn't mean that I should just let her be killed for such a stupid reason. Urahara walked over and placed a hand on Naruto's shoulder. Naruto-san. I hope that your training was to your liking. Naruto gave him an evil grin that sent a shiver down his spine. Yes, it was Urahara. I would be happy to show you just how fruitful it was after I get back. We should sit down and have a little chat. But it can wait until I get back. Aha. Urahara backed away from Naruto and slapped the gate with his fan. Okay. Let's get going. The moment the gate is open, you guys rush in. A few taps of his cane and a portal between worlds was opened between the stones comprising the gate. Naruto walked towards it, rolling his shoulders out to loosen up. Alright. You both owe me money or something of equal value. Remember that. Naruto said, pointing at Urahara and Yoruichi while stepping up first. I don't like playing guinea pig, but no guts, no glory. See you guys on the other side. He said, jumping in abruptly before anyone else. Shall we? Yoruichi asked, getting a nod out of Ichigo and the others, before they all jumped through as well. Soul Society, West Rukongai 1st District. The trip through the tunnel had been extremely dangerous. Almost getting caught by the thing that Urahara warned them about, as well as something else known as the cleaner of the tunnel, had nearly finished them off before real danger could begin. Were it not for Arihime's timely intervention with her powers, they would have been finished. Is everyone alright? Arihime asked brightly, as she looked at all of the others laying in a heap. Uryu sat up and held his head. I really didn't think we would be that pathetic right off the bat. Totally unexpected. He felt the back of his costume. I didn't think I would have to use my backup cape so soon. Everyone looked at Uryu strangely for carrying extra capes, specifically for his outfit with him. Great. Arihime said cheerfully. It looks like no one was hurt. What's so good about that? Yoruichi yelled as the cat headbutted Arihime in the eye, getting her to start crying. Were you even listening to me in there? It's a good thing that only the shield was touched by the Kitatsu. If it was the main body of your Shun Rika, you would have been dead by now. Yoruichi said, poking her on her hairpins. Why are you so pissed off? Ichigo said, we are all okay because of Inoue. You don't seem to understand the situation, Yoruichi said, looking around, and to top it off we lost Naruto. What on earth happened to him? The smoke around them cleared to reveal a rather residential-looking place. A town, if they were guessing right. Ichigo got a good look at their surroundings and commented on it. This is the Soul Society. Yes. Yoruichi began explaining for his benefit. We are currently on the outskirts. The Rukongai, the place where souls live when they first come to Soul Society. It is located around the Serite, which is our intended destination. This is the poorest area of the Soul Society, but also the most free, and holds the most souls. Ichigo looked over where there was a clear discrepancy in how things were set up as far as the layout of the area. Hey, that must be the Wachimacalate where all of the Shinigami live, right? I am going in, he said as he rushed over by himself. No, you idiot. You can't go in that way. Yoruichi shouted, trying to stop him, but it was too late. Ichigo turned around to look at Yoruichi, and was nearly crushed by a massive defensive wall that cut him off from proceeding further. What the hell? He said in confusion, as he could see no way around whatsoever, because of the smoke shrouding his view. It's been so long since someone tried going through the western gate without a pass. A booming voice said from in front of Ichigo. The smoke cleared, revealing a man that towered over Ichigo. He wore a small hat on his head, and the left side of his chest was exposed by his uniform. However, he had armor on his left shoulder and upper arm. I finally have something to do. He picked up a massive axe and slammed it down in front of Ichigo. Go ahead and attack from any angle you would like, kid. Ryu looked at the man in awe. Who is this guy? He is so large he couldn't possibly be human. His name is Shidanryu. Yoruichi enlightened the others. He is an elite in the Soul Society. The guard of the western gate of the Sirte. Ryu narrowed his eyes. That means we are going to have to work together to defeat this monster, and get past the gate. Yoruichi nodded. Exactly, but it isn't going to be a simple task. It would be easy if Naruto was here. I can't risk transforming yet for no reason. Leaving that as just a thought, Yoruichi kept speaking. He has been a guardian for 300 years, and until now no one has ever passed him to make it inside. One swing of his axe will obliterate you. He is the legendary Hercules of this world. Yoruichi then shouted over to Ichigo, Ichigo retreat, and we will come up with a plan. That course of action was cut short when Chad and Orihime ran ahead to assist Ichigo. Didn't you two hear me? We are coming to help you, Kurosaki-kun. Orihime thought as she ran to assist Ichigo. Seeing them coming, Jidanryu slammed his axe on the ground and fractured it, forming a wall to keep them from assisting Ichigo. Your behavior sickens me. He said to the others, this city has rules, you uncivilized people. First, you must wash your hands when you come back home. Second, you must never eat food that has fallen on the ground. Third, a duel is one-on-one, no one else is to get involved. Therefore my opponent is the spiky-haired kid. Just stay out there until I am done. He stated firmly. Chad pointed at the wall and spoke quietly. Orihime, I will make a hole in the wall. Take that chance and attack him. Trying to come up with a sneak attack. Jidanryu questioned testily, surprising them with his good hearing. Oi, Chad, Inoue. Ichigo's voice sounded out over the wall. Kurosaki-kun, are you hurt? Orihime questioned worriedly. Hold on a second, we are almost there. I am fine. Ichigo yelled back, but I wanted to talk to you guys about that. You and Chad just stay there, alright? Don't do anything. Before Orihime could say anything, Ryu ran up to the wall. What are you talking about? You have seen how strong this guy is. I don't care what you have learned over the past few days, you can't handle this by yourself. Oh? There you are, Ishida. Ichigo yelled back, as if he had been wondering where everyone else was. I have been here since the beginning, stupid. Ryu shouted, losing his patience. Ichigo replied in a low-key manner, you are really noisy. Chad spoke to Ichigo calmly through the wall, can you win? Ichigo rubbed his neck and looked at Jidanryu from his side of the wall. Possibly. Ryu's yelling from the other side forced a tick mark of annoyance onto Ichigo's head. What the hell is your malfunction, Kurosaki? Do you realize the situation you are in right now? So damn noisy, Ichigo remarked under his breath. I said don't worry. Do you even know what I have been doing for 10 days? The original plan was for me to take all of that time to recover, but it only took 5 instead. So during the 5 days I had left, what do you think I did? He waited for an answer, but only got silence. Fighting, of course. In those 5 days and nights I fought with Jetabushi. Ryu figured that he understood now, so he taught you battle skills. Nope. Ichigo said, butting in and keeping him from finishing his incorrect thought. He didn't teach me a single thing. But now I have got tons of raw battle experience and power. He took the wrap sword off of his back to reveal a large oversized cleaver that had no helter guard. It was just as tall as Ichigo himself, with a black blade and silver edge. He looked at Jidanryu and smirked. I am ready. I don't remember asking you to wait for me though. Are you finished? Jidanryu said disdainfully. It seems that you are just as uncivilized as those others. Such a disrespectful boy. He lifted his axe into the air. I wasted all of that time waiting on you. You should be grateful. He shouted as he slammed his axe down, cracking the ground with the force it hit with, but he didn't feel the normal amount of give that he otherwise thought he would have. Wait, how did you? Ichigo was holding back his axe with his sword in one hand. I wasn't ready yet. That wasn't exactly courteous, you know. He quipped at his enemy. Jidanryu began to let out booming laughter, amused at Ichigo. You aren't too bad at all. It's been quite a while since anyone could block my axe. Now I can finally use all of my strength. He lifted his axe again. Good luck, kiddo. Until now there have been only 3 people who could block my axe, including you, but the ones who can block my second are absolutely 0. He slammed it down on Ichigo, who blocked again. Good. But I am not finished yet. Die. Giant 10-strike festival. Jidanryu began swinging away at Ichigo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8, 5, 6. He lifted his axe one more time high over his head. It's almost done. 10. He swung his axe to the side, and cleaved the top off of the wall he had put up to keep others out. When the dust from the flurry of attacks died down, however, Ichigo stood unharmed with his sword over his shoulder, touching the ground and blocking his side. "How are you still standing?" Jidambu asked in shock. "Are you done yet?" Ichigo said coldly, setting a piercing gaze on Jidambu. "Because it's my turn now," he said, preparing an attack. "No, I am not finished yet," Jidambu said, lifting his axe again and pulling out a second one. "My final attack. Jiden Banzai Strike Festival. Sorry, but I am going to have to destroy those axes," Ichigo said just as Jidambu moved to slam his attacks down on him once more. Ichigo countered with a swing of his own sword and made good on his threat, as he destroyed both axes with one swing, sending the large warrior falling onto his back as well. Jidambu looked up at the sky, before blinking and rolling himself back to his feet. "That was dangerous. A minor distraction and I found myself on the ground." He noticed Ichigo's strange facial expression. "Did you think you had won? I wouldn't go down so easily to a guy like you. Now let's finish this with my..." He held up an arm only to find a handle in his hand. "Axe. My axe. Where is my axe?" He began crying pitifully and throwing a temper tantrum at having his axes broken. Ichigo actually felt guilty about what he had done. "This is kind of strange to say, but sorry about that. I guess I could have only broken one, and left you with the other. My bad." Jidambu stopped sobbing, and looked at Ichigo. "You are such a good guy." He started blubbering again. "I am an enemy, I lost the battle, but you still care about me. So generous." He placed a hand on Ichigo's shoulder, making the teen Shinigami incredibly uncomfortable. "And here I am crying like a baby, because of a broken axe." He subtly threw his arms in the air. "In over 300 years, I have never been so thoroughly defeated. You have my permission to enter the western gate of the Serte. What is your name, young warrior?" Ichigo pointed at himself. "Kurosaki Ichigo." "Strawberry, what a lovely name," Jidambu commented, as he turned towards the gate. Ichigo had to be held back by Chad from attacking the already defeated gate guardian. "I don't know why you want to go through this gate, Ichigo, but take care of yourself. Everyone inside is powerful." Ichigo stopped struggling and nodded. "I know." Jidambu grabbed the bottom of the gate and began to lift. "Well, if you are sure you are prepared, then I will open the gate for you." With a great show of strength, Jidambu hoisted the massive gate high up over his head for Ichigo and the others to pass through, shocking everyone who had witnessed the feat. However, once he got it up, he simply froze in fear at something he saw in front of him. Ichigo peeked around the giant and saw a man with silver hair, closed eyes, a grin on his face, and a Shinigami outfit, as well as an extra Haori over the usual clothing. "Who is this guy?" he asked. "It's American," Jidambu said fearfully, "captain of the 3rd Division." Gin spoke directly to Jidambu in a light scolding manner. "This isn't allowed." Before anyone could even do anything, or before anyone knew what happened, with a swift motion the arm of Jidambu was cut off. "That's too bad, but you are a gatekeeper. Your duty is to guard the gate, not open it," he said, without any actual malice in his voice at all. The loss of his arm caused Jidambu to scream in pain and lose his hold on the open gate, all the while blood from the open wound rained down. He still managed to hold the gate open, however, with one hand on the gate and his shoulders keeping it up. "No wonder you are one of the Soul Society elites," Gin mentioned casually. "Even with a missing arm you can still hold the gate open. However, you are still a failure as a guardian." Ichimaru Taichi Yoriichi thought as the scene unfolded. "I didn't expect anyone like this to show themselves so soon. Even though they are all very strong, his strength is beyond their imagination. If they fight here, the worst may occur." "I opened it because I lost," Jidambu said wearily. "The guardian opens the gate when he loses. It is only natural." "Did you make that idiotic rule up yourself?" Gin remarked amusedly. "You obviously misunderstood. Even if a gate guardian loses, he still may not open the door. If a guardian loses, the aura around Gin grew murderous. He must be executed." In a flash, Ichigo attacked in order to keep Jidambu from being injured any further, clashing swords with the captain before breaking away. Yoriichi's jaw was left slack by how brazen Ichigo was. The kid just moved at him on his own. "What do you think you are doing, you bastard?" Ichigo questioned Gin. Yoriichi shouted at Ichigo instead of letting Gin reply. "What do you think you are doing? We beat Jidambu fair and square, and then you just pop up out of nowhere and attack us," Ichigo said to Gin, almost seething. "In a way, I want you to look after Jidambu's arm," he asked of her, getting a nod from Orihime. "If you want to fight so bad, then I will be your opponent. If you attack unarmed allies so easily, then I will have to rip you apart in revenge." "You are interesting," Gin said about Ichigo. "Aren't you afraid of me?" "Hell no," Ichigo said angrily in response. "Absolutely not. Stop messing around, Ichigo. Let's retreat for now," Yoriichi nearly pleaded. Getting into a fight with a captain-level Shinigami in the first few hours of being here wasn't exactly on the to-do list. "Ichigo," Gin said in his head, as he got a look at Ichigo's physical make. "Orange hair, sword as long as his height. So you are Kurosaki Ichigo?" "Ha, so he does exist after all." Ichigo looked at him in confusion. "Do you know me?" he said before he noticed Gin had turned and started walking away. Oi, where are you going? Not turning to face him, Gin spoke. Well, if that's the case, then I definitely cannot let you pass. What the hell are you walking away for then? Ichigo questioned before deciding to make a crack on him to provoke him. What are you planning on doing? Throwing that knife at me? Oh, he didn't know it all, poor bastard. Gin held his sword out to the side. It's not called a knife, this is my Zanpakuto. He quickly set himself in a sideward stance, tucking the blade under his left arm, and pointing it at Ichigo. Be curse, Shinsu. Gin's sword rapidly extended at Ichigo with intent to impale him. Ichigo held up his own Zanpakuto in defense, but ended up getting pushed back into Jidanbyu, throwing them both outside of the gate. The gate began to close as his sword retracted. Gin peeked out under the bottom of it, and waved at everyone. Bye-bye now, he said pleasantly right before it slammed shut. Kurosaki-kun. Orihime shouted as she, Chad, and Uryu ran towards the downed Shinigami who was motionless on the ground. Ichigo suddenly popped up. Damn it, that hurt. He yelled, surprising everyone that had moved to his side to check if he was hurt or not. Where is that bastard? He nearly killed me. He still seems lively, Ryu thought, as he saw Ichigo bitching to himself about Gin. He took that attack head on, and he is still just fine, I will say it again. Scary guy. He looked at Ichigo's new sword. Is that how he did it? I think he called it Zanjutsu, his new Zanpakuto. Ichigo stood up and looked at Yoruichi who had walked up to him. Sorry, because of me the door closed again. Forget it. Yoruichi dismissed his apology. There's no point in dwelling on it now. Although the door is shut again, the results would have been potentially worse had you passed through. That was a chimera, Gin. Just be glad you weren't injured. Hasoma clone was right. You guys finally showed up. Took you long enough. They all looked up onto a nearby building, to see Naruto crouched with a dry look on his features, as he waved disenchantedly. Yo. Did you guys know that you are incredibly slow? I was hauling ass through that Dongai place. What happened to all of you? I thought you were all supposed to be right behind me. Naruto. Everyone exclaimed, having actually forgotten about him with everything that happened. Where have you been? Yoruichi scolded. I thought you had been killed when you went through. Naruto shook his head, a distinct lack of humor or good nature on his face. No, don't you give me that. Something exploded when I made it through, and I couldn't look back. Do you know how long I have been waiting for you guys to show up? I got sick of waiting, and thought you had all died. He then pointed at the down Jidanbyu and the closed gate. I tried that too, when I first got here. I kicked another giant guy's ass on the east side of this place. I didn't land here. I can't open that gate either or even get inside, so I have just been messing around out here trying to think of something. How long have you been here? Yoruichi asked, after jumping on the roof he was sitting on, perching on his shoulder and whispering to him, not wanting to alert anyone else. Naruto answered quietly, I have been here for quite a while waiting on all of you. Yoruichi remarked, time must have been displaced due to what happened with the Rihime's barrier and the Katatsu. We might be able to take advantage of this later, just keep it to yourself for now, okay? Naruto nodded as they continued to watch Orihime work on Jidanbyu's arm, as the villagers came out to interact with them all. So what have you been doing by yourself? Staying out of trouble, I hope. Naruto grinned, of course. I know how to be discreet. I had to exist as an immortal on Earth and move when I needed to, so I am an old hand at blending in. His eyes took on a more glassy tint. I just had to spend some time looking around for something. Yoruichi blinked. What were you looking for? Naruto's eyes panned over to Yoruichi's golden ones. I wanted to see the friends that first left me behind so long ago. He sighed. I couldn't find any of them. This place is so big even with my Kage Bunshin I couldn't go everywhere. I couldn't even ask about them no matter where I looked. They had lives of their own, and while I am very happy I can't bring myself to show it. But then I saw that this place had old people and memorials, and I realized that they must have passed on here as well. Yoruichi flinched for him and wrapped a tail around his neck. You really have been alive for a long time, haven't you? If that's the case, then they must have been far older than 2500 years old in this realm. Naruto looked at his hands and clenched his fists. Probably. I lost count of how long I have been alive. It's way longer than the modern calendar for sure. Way longer. I didn't know people died here too. What makes this place so different from the realm of the living, except for the lifespan? I can't find much of a difference at all. Yoruichi didn't know how to respond. That's a very hard question to answer for one that has seen so much of the living world like you. Maybe you can find out. But if it makes you feel any better, they're incarnated. Naruto looked at her hopefully. Obviously they would have no ties to their past lives, but their souls would cycle back to Earth. She didn't get a response from Naruto, who stopped talking, and simply looked at the others talk to the villagers below. Are you going to be alright? Yoruichi asked him. Naruto looked over at the cat, giving him a worried look, and gave a wide grin. Oh yeah, I will be fine. I can't get all down in the dumps now, can I? I'm Yurei Sartai. What good would I be to everyone getting down about this here? He stood up and looked at the sky. So what if they are dead? All I have ever wanted was to keep my precious people safe and happy, and I did that. I will never forget them for as long as I exist, and that's how I will keep them alive. Every time I use a jutsu, and every time I wear my old village's symbol, that means that they are still alive, even if it's just in here," he said, pointing at his heart. Yoruichi smiled at him. "Well, that's a very strong way to look at things." Naruto shook his head. "Not particularly. I have gone this long without them. It hurts every now and then, but there's nothing I can do. I am not a god, Yoruichi. All I can do is keep going. I will never catch up to them now, so it doesn't matter anymore." "So what's the plan, boss? How are we getting in? Because I am drawing a blank. Even touching the walls of that gate sucked my power away. I will let them rest for now," Yoruichi said, curling up on his shoulder and shutting her eyes. "I have a plan, but I need to ask around for some information on someone. Would you care to accompany me while the others get used to the Soul Society? Since you have been here long enough to get the gist of things, you can tell me about your friends while we look." Naruto chuckled and started walking along the rooftops. "Well, if you want, so let's see, where should I start? Okay, I have got it. When I first became a ninja as a kid, I was placed on this team with 2 other kids and a sensei. Now this one girl, Haruno Sakura, was rather pretty and had pink hair, and I had a crush on her. Never worked out for me. Go figure, but just so you know, you were way hotter than her when she was grown up, Yoruichi. Way hotter. But then there was this other kid, Uchiha Sasuke. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want a next part of this video, like, subscribe, and comment down below, and turn on that bell notification. And also check out the other videos that I have created, and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.